and I'm just so excited to see the rest of the episodes and look forward to because it's an anthology, and therefore you can just escape into each episode every week and not have to worry about catching up. And I also love that it will air every week in sort of a throwback time, so that you can discuss it with your friends, like the water cooler talk that you used to be able to experience, and have that anticipation of the next episode. Yes. So I play Debbie Newman. I am one of the friends of Diane Lane, who is the star of the episode. And we discover a secret that's going on in the town, and
my character believes and has verification that she is indeed authentic. And, it's a family story. It deals with a moral dilemma of people that you include in your life and what that feels like. And I think sometimes there's a pressure and a judgment that's made on people that have substantial means that's different than on other people, and you have to sort of be a little bit more sensitive and cautious about making the wrong decisions for the wrong reasons. I'm just so grateful that he was inspired to do something completely different and take us back to appointment television and just shake it up a little and make it so that you don't have to watch every episode in sequence, which is a relief. That's the way I remember television, where you could just tune in and enjoy what there is. Honestly, I think it was the opportunity to work with Matt. I mean, he's that guy, you're just dying to... Oh!
Which guy is
Who
that?
am I talking about? I can't remember. What's his name again?
Mine was shot in Mexico City, and Matt wrote and directed and did the whole thing, So
Tell me about your character.
I'm a rather cynical expat reporter working for a paper in Mexico City, who has a relationship with a young reporter who, a guy who's a little naive for my taste.
Okay.
I'm in the second episode, which is The Royal We, and I play Michelle. So she's sort of a mysterious character. Yeah, she's very sexy. She was so much fun to play. I'd never really played this sort of like femme fatale character, and I liked that she was there was this essence of boredom in her current life, but comfortable. And I thought I recognized that sort of behavior, and I thought, this is a really interesting character study of someone who is willing to sort of dip their foot into like the darkness, but not really fully leave her actual life for it. So I thought, I quite like this character. And she's just, the writing. I think it was, for me, when you read stuff and you start working on it and it's easy, it's all there on the page is a relief, and it's amazing.
Working on an Amazon series is a great opportunity and a great platform, and I believe it's the future.
Working on an Amazon series is fantastic. You feel like you have a lot of freedom, and they hire you to do something and they let you do what they hired you to do, so that feels great.
And I play Brian Norris, and I'm not allowed to say anything about it. Christina Hendricks is in it. We're both actors in the episode, and we play husband and wife in the episode. Matt is always the smartest man in the room, and he surrounds himself with people who are ready to work at that level. Working on an Amazon series is a career highlight because one feels so incredibly supported by Amazon and by the people who work for Amazon, and I couldn't work for a better place.
This, of course, is the premiere of the Romanoffs, which I'm very excited. I have seen none of it. I'm in one episode, and there are all these great actors that I admired and I got to meet who are in different episodes. So technically we're castmates, yet we've never met. So it's an exciting night for me and America. Working on an Amazon series is really kind of cool because they are this really sort of hands-off and very supportive studio. And certainly here, they let Matthew make the vision that he wanted to make and got all the people that he wanted. And you just felt like you were really in comfortable hands. So it was a great treat.
Working on an Amazon series is a privilege and a pleasure.
I play Greg, who's an American in Paris, who has come to Paris to look after his irascible aunt, Anushka, who is a descendant of the Romanoffs. She's in the Romanoff bloodline. And it's sort of about all the relationships that revolve around Anushka and her old way of thinking in a new world. And I just happen to be blessed to be a part of it. I liked being sort of kind of a buoy in the ocean in a stormy ocean, you know. The fact that you're sort of around these very strong women who have very strong opinions, very strong personalities, and really being a fly in the wall and listening to them go at each other, I thought was a lot of fun, especially in French, and especially with Matthew. What Matthew has them say is extraordinary.
We are husband and wife.
Yes.
And our daughter is about to have a baby. So we're about to be grandparents.
Shockingly. She's a little sensitive about that.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm Eric Ford. That's the character's name.
Yes. And a bunch of secrets come out around the period of time while we're waiting for the baby to be born.
I sort of had a tangential understanding of it in history, but I wasn't aware of the fascination about Romanoffs and people really wanting to be part of that family. I don't think I would be related to the Romanoffs. No, my mother's family was, they were sort of
in the shtetl.
Exactly, they were in the shtetl. So I think that was the deal. They were not part of the royal family.
Matthew has the quality a little bit of being a mad scientist. You know, like he's madly in love with these people. All the feelings that I had about playing a grandmother at age 46 were appropriate to stuff into the...
I play Michael Romanoff, a descendant of the Romanoffs, and my wife, Shelley Romanoff, who's...
married into the family.
Yeah, and our characters are going through a real rough spot in their marriage, and have planned a vacation, but I get jury duty, and I wind up being the only person in history to want to be on jury duty.
So Shelley's really positive, I think, at the outset. I think she's really trying to figure out what's wrong in their relationship and fix it. And I really love her for that. And to me, her arc over the episode is trying to sort of the extreme events that have to happen for her to be able to really honestly look at the relationship she's actually in.
My wife is a Romanoff by blood from her mother's side, and you know I had heard a lot of the stories of my immediate her immediate family and how they escaped from Germany in World War II, and it's a really rich and exciting story. But I actually didn't really know much about the Romanoff story.
Our episode is The House of Special Purpose, and it's shooting a series within our series about the Romanovs, and I play Samuel Barlow, who's an actor, opposite the amazing Christina Hendricks, and Isabelle Hubert plays Jacqueline, our director. It gets a little crazy. Every episode of the anthology series is its own film, is its own piece. It stands on its own two legs. Matt's created a world that has connective tissue, but we shot it like a movie. Like, it has a beginning, middle, and end, and you can go independently into each episode and get lost within that, and you don't have to, in a sense. You don't even need the connective tissue to get the full experience of each episode, if that makes sense.
Jack is a writer who, like everyone in this show, is in some way related to the Romanovs. So it's sort of 6 degrees of separation of the Romanovs, and he is married into a family that have a mystery related to the Romanovs, and so he is sort of once removed, and the desire for ownership of that is what that episode is about, of who has a rightful stake in being to an inheritance. I shot in Paris, delicious. London, it's my old home. I now live in New York. I also was lucky enough to shoot in Prague, which is stunning. So all over. I feel like the locations were really were a character within the show. I think Matthew is writing a love letter to each city that he goes to, and each culture and each genre that he makes. I haven't seen all the episodes, so I don't know, but I do know that each one has a different feel, a different theme, and a different rhythm, which is what makes this so exciting. Look, as an actor, generally, I don't watch what I'm in, and this is one of the few things that I'm going to devour all the way through.
Really nasty, mean, snobbish, racist character, which is turning around then, and we find out why she's what she is. She thinks she is part of the dynasty family, and if it's true, we don't know if she makes it up or if it's true, but that doesn't matter.
My character is a young woman who is dedicated to her work. She's been to a traditional family, Arab family, and I love this character because she's very strong, but in a good way, because she cares about people, she don't judge people, and even when, indeed, when she's racist or mean, this is my first movie, and he trusts me, and he helped me so much, and I remember that. Yeah.
And it's very, very important for an actor to know that how you accept it. That's number one. And his writing is so, and the pacing and everything is, he knows so much about that.
There's 100 movies, books, etc. about the Romanoffs. They occupy a place in our imagination as a story, not just because they have this incredible true crime history, not just because it's about the last sort of autocratic royal family and that they were murdered. But just on the Wikipedia alone, there's over 100 people who pretended to be related to them. Are they survivors? Are they victims? Are they even really sure who they are? That to me was like, that was an opportunity. We want to tell you a story that you haven't seen before and take you somewhere to tell it. And the place is always a character. There's like a very heavy drama. There is a fairy tale. There's a horror movie. There is a comedy. There's a comedy of manners. Most of the talent everywhere we go is from where we are. I always wanted to feel like we were in those places. And I think the audience will feel that too, because it's really a big part of the motivation. When you go to in the Czech Republic, when you go to these castles, those all could have been sets. But we shot in the castles, and you're shooting a horror movie in a place that is so clearly haunted that nobody wants to sleep there that night. We would drive an hour back.
I play this woman, Victoria Haywood, who finds herself in Mexico City with her son, who is sick. And she's trying to cure him in this sort of experimental way. And meets this
journalist from Mexico City, who is caught in a way in the middle of everything. And then, how can I say this? The sort of the relationship starts and develops in a very nice and strange way. We got to shoot all over Mexico City, which was really amazing, especially for me because I live there. So sort of to be able to tell Matthew's story in my country, through his eyes was really a blessing.
I mean, I know that each episode has completely new characters in a completely different location. And there is this bloodline that links things, which is in itself fascinating. It's a simple story, but by the end of it, there's this complete shift in perspective, and that's what's really elegant about the piece. They see things in one light, and by the end, they see it completely differently.